Om Ajnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Sakshur Militan Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Namo Varanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goratuse Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai 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 Gurudev. Rereading from Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Madhya-līlā, chapter 17, text 38. So, the Lord travels to Vṛndāvana, and we were hearing yesterday the Lord travels to the Yarikanda forest, and all the animals are dancing and rejoicing with the Lord. Some extraordinary vision has been made. Seeing the tigers and deer following him, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately remembered the land of Vṛndāvana. He then began to recite a verse describing the transcendental quality of Vṛndāvana. Vṛndāvana is the transcendental abode of the Lord. There is no hunger, anger, or thirst there. Though naturally inimical, both human beings and fierce animals live together there in transcendental friendship. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Chant Krishna, Krishna," the tigers and deer began to dance and chant Krishna. When all the tigers and does danced and jumped, Balabhadra Bhattacharya saw them and was struck with wonder. Balabhadra Bhattacharya was the servant that went along with Mahaprabhu going to Vṛndāvana. Indeed, the tigers and deer began to embrace one another, and touching mouth, they began to kiss. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw all this fun, he began to smile. Finally, he left the animals and continued on his way. Various birds, including the peacock, saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and began to follow him, chanting and dancing. They were all maddened by the holy name of Krishna. When the Lord loudly chanted, "Hari Bol," the trees and creepers began jubilant to hear him. Purport. The loud chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is so powerful that it can even penetrate the ears of trees and creepers. What to speak of animals and human beings? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu once asked Haridas Ṭhākura how trees and plants could be delivered, and Haridas Ṭhākura replied that the loud chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra would benefit not only trees and plants, but insects and all other living beings. Insects, even insects, when we chant, when we are in the nature or when we are in the garden, even insects can hear the holy name. Or some vibration that is very beneficial for them. One should therefore not be disturbed by the loud chanting of Hare Krishna, for it is beneficial not only to the chanter, but to everyone who gets an opportunity to hear. Thus all living entities, some moving and some standing still in the forest of Yarikanda, became maddened by hearing the holy name of Lord Krishna vibrated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In all the villages through which the Lord passed and all the places he rested on his journey, everyone was purified and awakened to ecstatic love of God. When someone heard the chanting of the holy name from the mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and someone else heard this chanting from that second person, and someone again heard this chanting from the third person, everyone in all countries became a Vaishnava through such a disciplic succession. Thus everyone chanted the holy name of Krishna and Hari, and they danced, cried, and smiled. Purport. The transcendental power or potency of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is herein explained. First, the holy name is vibrated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When someone hears from him directly, he is purified. When another person hears from that person, he is also purified. In this way, the purification process is advanced amongst pure devotees. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and no one can claim his potency. Nonetheless, if one is a pure devotee, hundreds and thousands of men can be purified by his vibration. This potency is within every living being, provided he chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra offenselessly and without material motives. When a pure devotee chants offenselessly, another person will become a Vaishnava, and from him another Vaishnava will emerge. This is the Parampara system. I heard yesterday, like the soul is actually the most fine musical instrument. So the soul, but by purification, that soul becomes cleansed of all the layers we have, all the thoughts, patterns, all the opinions, all the, say, that is the main thing, like the, how do you say that? I forgot the word. Like we have all this judgment, that is the word. Judgment. We have judgments about everything what we encounter, about the persons that we associate with. We make judgments in our life. Now, to ask for help to the Lord. Please help me. Make me non-judgmental, because the judgment makes you resistant to something. And that is the purification of the soul, which can then become like the most musical instrument. Like what they said yesterday, the soul is the most musical instrument. How nice is that? But it has to be purified. I mean, the soul is pure. The soul has nothing to do with this material world. We are dealing here with transcending the material world, transcending our thoughts and our thought patterns connected with the senses. That whole system, Kumar says, has to calm down. Subjective evolution of consciousness. Like in the material world, the scientists, they think about an objective evolution of matter. And the devotees know it's all spirit. It's all not what we see, what we think. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with like the consciousness and the thought patterns. First we have to understand this. What is consciousness and what is my thinking? What are thoughts? Who can explain that to me? What is thinking and what is consciousness?
Maybe consciousness is your general general vibration of existence, and thinking is like your mental, subtle body's activity, sort of thing. Maybe.
Consciousness is with the soul, and thinking is with the ego. Thinking is like, I like it, I don't like it. Apathy and sympathy, Guruma says. I have sympathy, I like that, or I don't like it. That is the mind. But consciousness is with the soul and knows, I forget the mind, I dedicate my life. I dedicate my life, I give myself in my service of chanting, service in the temple, my service of helping the devotees. It has nothing to do with the mind. The mind gets out of the system because we are transcending this whole situation. What we have understood, that is a nasty world. And by the development, so many developments will happen in the coming years. But we have our Krishna consciousness, not thinking about what I like or what I don't like. It is the grace that has come to me that I can give my life to the Lord. Not thinking. I give my life to the Lord because there everything will happen. There all the wonderful magic will happen, that I will be transformed. I will become transformed. And my inner self, my golden self, will become like what I heard yesterday, like a musical instrument. Everybody is like happy to associate with somebody who is purified, because it's uplifting. It uplifts our day-to-day life. Any comments about that? Any? So consciousness is with the soul, and thinking is with the ego. Like, I like it, I don't like it. Not to go there, just chanting, say, my Lord, help me that I can can calm down my thought patterns. And that is with chanting of the holy name. We get liberation from all these lives. We have attachment, we have habits, how we operate the system. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not manifest his natural ecstatic love, everyone became a pure devotee simply by seeing and hearing him. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally toured Bengal, East Bengal, Orissa, and the southern countries, and he delivered all kinds of people by spreading Krishna consciousness. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Jharikanda on his way to Mathura, he found that the people there were almost uncivilized and were devoid of God consciousness. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave even the Beals an opportunity to chant the holy name. The word Bila refers to a class of men belonging to the Beals. The Beals are like black Africans, and they are lower than Sudras. Such people generally live in the jungle, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to meet them. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed through the Jharikanda forest, he took it for granted that it was Vṛndāvana. When he passed over the hills, he took it for granted that they were Govardhan. Similarly, whenever Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw a river, he immediately accepted it as the river Jamuna. Thus, while in the forest, he was filled with great ecstatic love, and he danced and fell down crying. Along this way, Balabhadra Bhattacharya collected all kinds of spinach, roots and fruit whenever possible. Whenever Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited a village, a few brahmanas, 5 or 7, would come and extend invitations to the Lord. Some people would bring grains and deliver them to Balabhadra Bhattacharya. Others would bring milk and yogurt, and still others would bring ghee and sugar. In some villages, there were no brahmanas. Nonetheless, devotees born in non-brahmana families came and extended invitations to Balabhadra Bhattacharya. Balabhadra Bhattacharya used to cook all kinds of vegetables gathered from the forest, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased to accept these preparations. Balabhadra Bhattacharya used to keep a stock of food grains that would last from 2 or 5 days. Where there were no people, he would cook the grains and prepare vegetables, spinach, roots, and fruits collected from the forest. The Lord was always very happy to eat these forest vegetables. He was even happier when he had an opportunity to stay in a solitary place. Balabhadra Bhattacharya was so affectionate to the Lord that he was rendering service like just a menial servant. His assistant Brahmana carried the water pot and garments. The Lord used to bathe 3 times a day in the warm water of the waterfalls. He also used to heat himself morning and evening with a fire made of limitless wood. While traveling in this secluded forest and feeling very happy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made the following statement. My dear Bhattacharya, I have traveled very far through the forest, and I have not even slightly received any trouble. Krishna is very merciful, especially to me. He has shown his mercy by bringing me on this path through the forest. Thus he has given me great pleasure. Before this, I decided to go to Vṛndāvana and on the way see my mother, the river Ganges, and other devotees once again. I thought that once again I would see and meet all the devotees and take them with me to Vṛndāvana. Thus I went to Bengal, and I was very happy to see my mother, the river Ganges, and the devotees. However, when I started for Vṛndāvana, many thousands and millions of people gathered and began to go with me. Thus I was going to Vṛndāvana with a big crowd, but through the mouth of Sanatan, Krishna taught me a lesson. Thus, by making some impediment, he has brought me on the path through the forest to Vṛndāvana. Krishna is the ocean of mercy. He is especially merciful to the poor and fallen. Without his mercy, there is no possibility of happiness. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then embraced Balabhadra Bhattacharya and told him, "It's only by your kindness that I am now so happy." Balabhadra Bhattacharya replied, "My dear Lord, you are Krishna himself, and therefore you are merciful. I am a fallen living entity, but you have bestowed a great favor upon me. Sir, I am most fallen, yet you have brought me with you, showing great mercy. You have accepted food prepared by me. You have made me your carrier Kavirāja. although I'm not better than a condemned crow. Thus you are the independent personality of Godhead, the original Lord. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has the form of Satchit Ananda Vigraha, transcendental bliss, knowledge and eternity. I offer my respectful obeisances unto He who turns the dumb into eloquent speakers and enables the lame to cross mountains. Such is the mercy of the Lord. I also heard one time from Guru Maharaj that the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, has the form of Satchit Ananda. And sometimes you can say Sat is eternity and Chit is consciousness or knowledge, or sometimes also said auspiciousness, and Ananda is happiness, going into ecstasy. And sometimes they say it's compared to Vasudeva, Krishna. Balaram is the auspiciousness, the movement, the knowledge also. And Ananda is coming from Srimati Radharani in the highest aspect. Transcendental bliss, knowledge, and eternity. That is what these are the tools that we are, ingredients that we are allowed to work with. When we calm, what we just said, calm the mind, the consciousness. What we are practicing? That is the consciousness of who?
Krishna.
Yeah. To have that all the time in our consciousness, in our mind. Not to slip away, to keep it focused. So we stop here for reading Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, the Lord travels to Vṛndāvana, chapter 17, Madhya-līlā. Ki Jai, Jai, Śrīla Kṛṣṇadāsa Kavirāja Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai, Jai, Śrīla Gurudeva. Then we have Śaraṇāgati, Surrender by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. You put an indication yesterday, Devananda? Or maybe it's the other one. Anyway, Śaraṇāgati, the word comes from Śarana, that means shelter, home, security, Śarana. And Gati means come. Because in this material world we understand there's no shelter there, there's no happiness there. There's the world of exploitation. Jivo, Jivasya, Jivanam. Everybody is exploiting each other. So we have understood that by grace. We can understood that this is not a world for gentle people. This is harsh. This is ego-based. Everybody is exploiting each other. They deny the existence of the Lord. We don't want to live in that sort of material conception. So we want to learn and live in spiritual conception, Krishna consciousness, and that means Śaraṇāgati. There is our safe place. There is our home. So it's not about me. I put the Lord in the center, and I surrender myself to the teachings of my Gurudev. This is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Although a devotee who is surrendered to Krishna, that is called a Śaraṇāgata. A devotee who is surrendered to Krishna is a Śaraṇāgata. And a devotee who is detached from this world, a kinchan. So a kinchan is having detached from the external world. That is a kinchan. But Śaraṇāgati, a Śaraṇāgata, is surrendered to another plane of life, to the Lord. He is also detached, but he is simultaneously dedicated. Being detached from this world, maintaining genuine faith, Shraddha, within the heart, and taking shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Krishna in all respect, is said to be Śaraṇāgati. The fundamental teachings of Śaraṇāgati are found within the Vedas, Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the Ramayana, the Puranas, other scriptures, and the writing of all the previous acharyas. Herein I'm citing a few examples from these sources of knowledge. By the mercy of Shyam, Krishna, I surrender unto Balaba, Radha. By the mercy of Balaba, I surrender unto Shyam. In the beginning of creation, he who created Brahma and then imparted to him knowledge of Brahma, he is the self-same Lord, Krishna, who tends the cows. Those desirous of liberation should surrender unto that Lord, who reveals the innate function of the soul. As flowing rivers, abandoning their names and forms, return to the ocean, so the enlightened souls, being completely liberated from their mundane names and forms, meet the supra-mundane Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna says, O Uddhava, totally abandoning the Vedas and their auxiliaries, all of their prescriptions and prohibitions, and everything you have ever heard or may come to hear, take exclusive shelter of me, the life of all beings, with all your heart. By my grace, you will become completely fearless. One who has completely abandoned all worldly duties and surrendered wholeheartedly unto the ultimate shelter Mukunda is no longer a debtor to, nor a servant of the demigods, sages, other living entities, relatives, mankind, or ancestors. Krishna says to Uddhava, when a mortal being completely abandons all mundane endeavors, surrenders themselves unto me, and acts according to my desires, they obtain immortality and become fit to associate with me. If one wholeheartedly takes shelter of the feet of the infinite Supreme Lord, the Lord bestows his true mercy upon them, and they thereby transcend his insurmountable Maya. So, to go over this whole world with our body, with all these faculties that only bring you attachment to things in the world, by the grace of the Lord, he says, come, I take you, I help you step over Maya. That's actually like a miracle. Like they asked Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada in the time that he was in the West in the 60s, and so many reporters came to him and said, "What is your magic? I mean, we see so many yogis from India coming, and they do this magic, and they can provide this magic. What is your magic?" And then Swami Prabhupada says that all these hippies, they can leave all their attachments to drugs, to drinking, to sex, that is the most incredible miracle. And we realize it, is that we can come to the temple, can do our service, try to stay clean and clear from all these things in the material world. That's very nice. To encourage each other, to feel some encouragement. This is very good that it happened into us. And actually a miracle. Because we see around us, it's not easy to give up so many material things. And we can do. We practice. We are happy also that we can do that. Okay, we have to stop here. We continue tomorrow. Any additions? Śaraṇāgati by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura ki jai, jai Śrīla Guru Maharaj ki jai, jai Śrīla Gurudev ki jai. Who's gonna sing Kavirāja? Got it?
Okay. Kavirāja.